The more they talk about the deaths of these hostages, the worse it gets. Two of them were killed immediately by a round of fire after waving a white flag, and then the third ran, called for help in Hebrew, tried to hide, and then was still murdered by the IDF. So it just goes to show that the IDF doesn't really care about killing their own people. All they want to do is murder anybody that they see. It is crazy what they're doing. How are they supposed to be rescuing hostages if their policy is to shoot first and identify people later?
Benjamin Netanyahu late tonight hinting the door is not closed to new negotiations involving the Qataris to get hostages home.
We have serious criticisms of Qatar, about which I suppose you will hear in due course. But right now, we are trying to complete the recovery of our hostages.
He's insisting he will keep up the military pressure on Hamas as Netanyahu is under pressure himself. Protesters in the streets of Tel Aviv, like Ruby Hen, whose son, Ite, an American citizen, is believed to be held captive.
Tell me why you decided to come out here to march tonight.
The Israeli families believe that the Israeli government needs to put an offer on the table today.
Thousands gathering in one of the biggest.
If I was one of these family members who had a family member that was held hostage, I would be afraid that how the IDF treats hostages, it's shoot on sight. So you have no idea if your family member is going to come back alive, either killed by Hamas or by your own government.
Demonstrations since the war began. Nearby, two Israeli cabinet members meeting with hostage family members. Do you believe that right now, tonight, that this is a turning point?
I hope so. I believe that they can make the right choice.
The urgency building after the deaths of three Israeli hostages killed by their own military. Alon Shamriz, Yotam Haim, and Samer Al-Talalka. With stunning new developments now involving how they died. An IDF official says the three tried to wave a makeshift white flag before they were fired on. Soldiers began shooting anyway, killing two of the men immediately, the official says, describing how the third ran to find shelter, calling for help in Hebrew. But even after a ceasefire was called, another round of fire killed the third hostage.
Wow. So even though they were surrendering and calling for help, the IDF still murders these people, and it's going to be justified because it's a combat zone, like another Israeli spokesperson has tried to do. It is crazy how they're claiming to trying to be rescuing the hostages, yet they murder the hostages on sight. Their policy is to shoot first and ask questions later.
IDF describing the war's tense backdrop, soldiers on edge.
The fire by the Israeli soldier here was totally in violation of the rules of engagement.
The fighting relentless. In Jerusalem Friday, people scrambled at the Western Wall after rare sirens warned of missiles on the way, shot down by the Iron Dome. In Gaza, nearly 19,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry.
Their action towards the hostages makes me question if they're able to determine who is a Hamas terrorist and who is an Israeli hostage. How can they determine who is a Hamas agent and who is an innocent Palestinian? They honestly don't even care because all they do is shoot on sight.
We had our bikes here, closed, says 13-year-old Suleiman Barhoum. His house destroyed in a strike. In a moment, nothing left.
And Hallie joins me now from Tel Aviv. Hallie, we're learning tonight of developments to get more aid deliveries into Gaza through a second border crossing?
Yes, Jose, a U.S. official tells NBC News they expect the